Hey guys, welcome back to a deep dive into the Northmarian interaction in IDOLiSH7 3rd beat episode 12. I hope you're ready for more Northmarian and Danish. Let's get going! Here, Thoraldur says, Tilgiv mig, nej, undskyld Nagi, which means, forgive me, no, sorry Nagi. The subs say, please forgive, rather, I'm sorry Nagi-san. This one's completely fine in Danish, but it does lose the impact it has in Japanese, but nothing to be done about that. Nagi then says, ej, så upassende for en underdanig fra Northmaria, og den tumult nu? På trods af alle de problemer du har skabt for mig, vil du have mig til at lytte til din råd? Which translates into, so unbefitting a submissive from Northmaria, and this disturbance just now? Despite all the problems you've caused me, you want me to listen to your advice? Whereas the subtitle says, it's unbefitting for a subject of Northmaria. The same goes for this disturbance. Do you believe I'd listen to your warnings after the situation you caused? The word used in the Northmarian means submissive in Danish. This is the second noun to have changed meaning, so I personally still believe it's a mistranslation into Danish. Though, if you look at real languages that are related, the change from submissive to subject, or the other way around depending on which language came first, Northmarian or Danish, the switch could happen organically. If you wanted to change the Northmarian into actual Danish, it would end up as så upassende for en unsot fra Northmaria, og al den tumult. På trods af alle de problemer du har givet mig, vil du have mig til at lytte til dig? Thoraldur says, det har intet med det at gøre. Which in English means, that has nothing to do with it. The subtitles say, those are two entirely separate matters. Again, we have a significant change in tone and formality, but other than that, the Northmarian's perfect Danish. Thoraldur continues to speak perfect Danish and says, Nagi, der er ikke meget tid tilbage. Which means, Nagi, there is not much time left. The subtitles however say, Nagi-san, your extension won't last much longer. The Danish is perfect. There is however another thing I want to point out. When reading the Danish subtitle, it sounds like Thoraldur is hinting to a specific someone in part 4, whereas the English subtitle sounds like it's talking about a different person from that part. But I guess it is what it is. Next up, Nagi says, jeg er takket være jeres manglende evner, which means, yes, thanks to your lack of skill. The English subtitle doesn't change the meaning, but they do change into only due to your incompetence. Here I went back and listened to the original Japanese, because in Danish, the plural your and the formal singular you are the same word, except the singular is spelled with a capital J, but Nagi does indeed mention more than one person. The Northmarian is perfectly understandable in Danish, even though I can't think of a situation where I'd use lack of skill as compared to incompetence. So normally you'd say, ja, takket være jeres inkompetence instead. As an answer to that, Thoraldur says, det har jeg intet godt argument imod, jeg ønsker dem en god nat og sov godt. Which directly translated becomes, I have no good argument against that. I wish you a good night and sleep well. I admit the first sentence sounds a bit unnatural in English, but I decided to keep the word argument, as it's the same in both languages. The subs say, that's painfully true, good night, pleasant dreams. The Northmarian here is perfect Danish, and I really like that they got it right, as it is the most natural way to wish someone good night in Danish. And with that, the Northmarian part ends. What did you think? I know it was long and not the most visually exciting video, but I do hope the language lesson makes up for that. Overall, I'm impressed with how understandable the Northmarian parts are in Danish. Very little was changed. In regard to the two nouns that did change, I really have no way of knowing if it was intentional or not, but it sure is interesting when you understand both languages. The tone of voice and the formality changed a lot throughout the Northmarian, but I don't really expect an anime to use Danish correctly to that extent. It's a very small language, and its uses are very limited outside of Denmark, Greenland and the Faroe Islands. I was just really excited that I could suddenly understand the words that appeared on my screen when I watched the episode. I hope you enjoyed diving into Northmarian via modern Danish with me. Do you watch IDOLiSH7 with subtitles that aren't English? If so, how do they compare to the Northmarian? Write it in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!